welcome to today's ALA Solution Series webcast, Why Now Matters, Redefining the Role of Intelligent DMS. Before we get started, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, NetDocuments. NetDocuments enables legal professionals to do their best work with an intelligent document management system that goes beyond getting organized and brings to life seamless AI, powerful workflows, and smarter experiences. The number one trusted cloud-native DMS for 25 plus years. NetDocuments delivers tools to make work easier through the document cycle, from award-winning automation and AI to email management, search, collaboration, document bundling, advanced security, and more. And now I'd like to welcome Michelle Spencer, the lead product marketing manager at NetDocuments, and Jake Evans, a senior solutions expert at NetDocuments. We're looking forward to what you have to share with us today, so please take it from here.
Thanks, Joy. I appreciate that. Let's switch over to my screen and we'll get started. So we're excited to share how the intelligent document management system continues to be the foundation for artificial intelligence and the work done by legal professionals. We're going to show you the different ways that we're infusing the DMS with intelligence throughout the end user experience. After all, the human element of the practice of law is what really matters. And we believe that our job, as Joy said, is to help legal professionals do their best work. And through an intelligence infused DMS, we're going to take you on that journey. So, of course, I'm Michelle Spencer again. For anybody who joined late, that's me, and joined today by Jake Evans.
Hello, everyone. I am Jake Evans, and as mentioned, I am a solutions expert here at NetDocuments.
So Jake will be handling the demo portions. I just do the talking. So a year ago at ILTACon, we introduced our legal AI assistant, building on our earlier ND Max AI apps and expanding out what AI means for legal professionals. And then just weeks later, we announced the era of the intelligent DMS. And that's not just a new name, but a shift in how we think about document management. Document management is no longer just about storing content. It's really now the foundation of a legal organization's AI strategy, where your data is not just secure, but enriched and made actionable. We've always believed in bringing AI to your content, not content to your AI. And today you'll see how that vision is evolving over time with new capabilities and new ways to embed intelligence into your legal workflows. So why does this matter right now? Well, that's because the legal industry is at a real inflection point. This isn't just another wave of change. I have been in legal more than 40 years at this point. And this is a big shift, and it's a fundamental shift in how legal work is defined and delivered. And the shift is happening really quickly. I know I work with our AI and automation product managers every day, and even for me, it's hard sometimes to keep up with all the latest and greatest. So AI and automation combined with rising expectations are really transforming how legal knowledge is created and shared and acted upon. Clients want more transparency and speed. Lawyers want flexible modern tools. Governance and compliance are more critical than ever and will continue to shape how we think about our work and where content can be accessed. It's about redefining how content knowledge and governance fuel your strategy. The role of a DMS is now about much more than securely storing and organizing your content. So that's why our vision for an intelligent, open platform is grounded in applying advanced technology like AI to those foundational capabilities and experiences like search, document drafting, and metadata management. So, responsible AI embedded where it matters most, keeping your content governed, enriched, and available everywhere that you work. AI obviously is core to the transformation of legal services that we're helping shape. However, making sense of the AI and automation technology landscape isn't easy. But here are some guideposts that can be helpful for you. First of all, AI isn't one thing. It isn't just a chatbot or assistant. It's everything from understanding and surfacing content in a search experience to how you interact with that content to extract information, answer questions, and then to the automation of everything from simple tasks to complex multi document workflows. We also believe that, especially in a time where not a day passes that a small startup, many coming from outside of the legal industry, announces some massive investment or hyped up new product, that we really need to keep security and governance concerns at the forefront. We've said it before, bringing AI to your content, not bringing content to AI, is essential to maintaining security and confidentiality. Certainly, choosing the best technology is important, but is that really the only lens? So, providing legal professionals with the right tools and experiences, we feel is also as important of a focus. One of the things that we really enjoy is that we get to hear from a wide range of law firms and legal departments. So, toward the end of last year, we brought together about 300 of our North American customers. And as part of that event, 30 or so folks across the full spectrum of legal organizations talked about the impact of technology, their goals, and the impact on their daily lives. Even with such diverse perspectives, there were a few common themes that came out of that. The challenge of change management, the need for solid adoption strategies, and the criticality of maintaining a security first approach. But the most consistent message that we heard was about the importance of focusing on real day to day human experiences, which means providing the right mix of tools and reducing the friction involved in using those tools. So ultimately, our job at NetDocuments is to help legal professionals deliver their best work product in less time with less effort, and to help deliver superior client or stakeholder value. Technology is a big part of that, but it isn't the only factor. I'd even go so far as to say that by itself, technology isn't the most important part of the equation. And what we've seen is that firms and departments who view the challenge of figuring out how to best leverage these advanced technologies through the human lens are often the ones who are driving higher confidence, higher usage, and better ROI on their investments. So, technology makes it possible to redefine the role of the DMS. We're seeing that as the DMS becomes the foundation for the practice of law using AI. Many are even talking about how bringing AI to your content is going to one day eliminate many of the roles in legal organizations. But we think differently from that. We believe the conflict between human experiences and technology is a false dichotomy. We are building a solution that meets lawyers and legal teams where they work, infusing their experiences with intelligence, and ultimately helping them to do their best work and drive positive client incomes. Our strategic focus is on helping legal professionals, real people, do their best work every day. That's our North Star, and the constant input of our customers directs us to focus not only on developing cutting edge technology, but also to apply that innovation to the core experience legal professionals have every day. So, this probably looks familiar. Ultimately, our goal is to meet legal professionals where they work. Um, we're trying to provide an experience where the work is enhanced by AI inside their existing workflows without them needing to consciously choose to use AI all the time. The lawyer or the legal professional should just be able to do their work while providing outcomes for their clients without going to some new tool. That's why we're infusing our AI capabilities um, all across the DMS, as well as Word and Outlook and the other places where legal professionals do their work. So before we talk about how we're enriching and expanding the DMS capabilities, first let's talk about why we're doing this, why this next step matters. Every law firm, every legal department has one thing in common. Their data is deeply client specific, highly sensitive, and foundational to every single thing that they do. And yet, so much of that content, briefs, agreements, correspondence, research, still lives in silos. And that's a problem. It's stored safely, yes, but it's not always accessible in the ways people need it to be, especially when they're under pressure to move fast, deliver quality, and stay compliant. So we want to change that. We want to make this content more accessible, more actionable, and more valuable as a part of everyday legal workflows. And with what we're about to show you, we're able to unlock that next level. This is a problem that everyone has, and it's also an opportunity that everyone recognizes. In fact, you could argue that it's the holy grail of document management. Having AI not only help you find your documents, but actually understand them, classify them, enrich them, and connect them across the firm. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's also the most important part because it reimagines what a DMS can be, and more importantly, what it should be. Now, there's a lot of places that a firm could start in their AI journey, but what we're hearing loud and clear from our customers is this is the place that they want to start. And why is that? Because everyone asking how to start is asking how to start with AI, not if. That conversation is clearly over. All right. Sorry about that. Had a cough, did not want to cough in your ear. So, we're building a full suite of foundational AI solutions to address all of this. So, first of all, we have our legal AI assistant, which allows you to get quick, accurate answers and even execute legal tasks. Legal apps and workflow automation for scaling your expertise and best practices into repeatable, automated processes. And AI enabled semantic search, vectorizing your entire repository of content so you can search based on context and meaning versus exact keywords, all working alongside and with your legal documents. And that's important because when you build those powerful AI capabilities natively inside your DMS, then you're able to activate the knowledge that lives inside those documents and make it actionable. But how do you extract that key information? Well, when we think about the kinds of documents that are stored in net documents, maybe it's a lease agreement, and it's not just any kind of lease agreement. It's a cell tower lease agreement, and it contains all sorts of important information, like when it was signed, or what the effective date, what the term of it is, what the property location is, what the rent is. All of these are like critical data points that are stored just within the text of the document. And likewise, if you're in the courtroom, you might be filing pleadings, and that pleading also has really important information embedded in it, like what date it was filed, the court it was filed in, what parties are involved, what kind of motion or pleading it is, what cases have been referenced inside of that pleading. And the real disappointment is that many times we miss out on all of this critical information that we can use to understand what's in these documents when we have a limited set of metadata, because people don't want to fill out these, extended profiles. So all we have is the basic data that we can get people to complete. So, um, when we think about how we can start to do this effectively using AI, now the game changes completely, because instead of users having to complete these kind of complex profiling fields while taking advantage of our inherent dynamic profile capabilities within net documents, now, those dynamic profiles can be completed by AI, and that can be stored inside and alongside the document. So, all of that information I referenced can be inside the document profile, and it can also be reused. Likewise, that pleading that I referenced, different kind of document, different set of metadata, different opportunities. So these are all opportunities to extract out all of that knowledge and information and store it alongside the document. And this becomes absolutely critical for being successful in building a knowledge management solution. Many firms have tried to do this in a more manual or machine learning fashion for years, and frequently in a separate system. And that hasn't really worked well until today. And so now Jake is going to walk us through an AI profiling demo.
Perfect. Thank you, Michelle. And I'm very excited to talk about this because over the last 2 years, how are people going to practically apply AI has been a huge subject as I talk to law firms, corporate legal teams. And the one thing that I know is legal professionals just love to tag documents, which of course is not true at all, as Michelle chuckles. And that's where we're able to present them what we always have: simple folder structure based document automation with the core tags, but this new capability of AI enriching that content, incredibly powerful. So as I open up the matter here, you will note that we're looking at documents and probably something that you have seen in the past. They're not named particularly well. Maybe these came from a client. Maybe I'm just a bad person at naming and profiling documents, which is definitely true. But we have got content that, of course, I could search, I could click and open them, but it's 28 documents. There's a handful of fields. The names aren't useful. So while I may be able to navigate this, others are likely not. And we'll see here right now, I classified it as unclassified, document type practice area. There are a couple of fields. So I'm presented with 6 fields. I do about 2 of them, a couple of them blank, a couple of them miscellaneous. as I imagine most of you with the DMS have seen that category seems to fill up. Well, the beautiful thing is behind the scenes now, I can simply just direct net documents on how do we want to classify these documents. So we see that document type in that practice area. I can provide it with a list of rules or taxonomy that says, here's how we should classify these documents. And on top of that, here's how I want them named. And that content lives within those files. So as I refresh, we'll give it one more. Uh, you'll see that we went from 6 fields and just utter nonsense to now highly defined naming conventions without me touching a single document. You'll see as well there is an effective date, an expiration date, the governing law, renewal terms. Those weren't showing up previously because I had not classified the document. Now that the system has, AI knows we need to know the parties and the effective date and the expiration date and everything else that me and my team have defined. So just like that, it has come back and said, this document is a commercial trade licensing agreement. It is for our IP practice. And here are the terms, the effective dates, the expiration date, the payment terms to the standard that I have set up. And all of that happens just simply by NetDocuments privately and securely bringing that AI lens to your documents. So again, the fields, what is there, all is editable and changeable, but you're able to define how does AI approach this? How do we get consistency? And now I have truly a limitless number of relevant fields that are consistent and classified without locking some poor intern in the room to read through these 28 documents.
And I love that we've built out a set of content to be extracted based on document types, but it's also fully customizable, which is great.
Yeah, very exciting. And this is certainly a different approach. So, of course, Michelle has kind of answered what and why. Well, I think a few things that really do make this transformative is you can use your pre-existing profile attributes and use the way that you want to title and call things. You can also leverage the latest models and have model control so you can decide which model gives you the best approach, the best flexibility without spending time to trade or train. And of course, it's all in a single platform. So this is not tying a bunch of things together, or updates break things here and there. The NetDocuments team ensures that it is scalable, ready to go, and continues to evolve to your needs. Now, a question that I get frequently is, why do we need metadata if large language models can handle unstructured data? With the rise of AI and semantic search, we fully acknowledge that. We are building things that are meant to handle and search that unstructured data, but it does not mean that your metadata isn't important. Your search engines need to be able to understand meaning and context. So if the metadata is incomplete, inconsistent, then you're not quite often running like you would expect to. Metadata truly is crucial because first, it does remain the foundation for that keyword search, being able to say, show me all of the agreements related to a client, or show me all of the pleadings that Michelle has done so I can shamelessly steal her terrific language. Those details are still huge. But beyond that, it brings in things like security. If AI finds personal identifiable information, we can use metadata to ensure that your legal assistants aren't downloading those and using them on the Starbucks Wi-Fi. Categorization, access control. Even in semantic search, it feels more important than ever because metadata has that context. So even if that AI search can find me the answers, the ability to make it consistent and accurate and filter it down off of that metadata, it's definitely not going away. So we see the need to cover both scenarios. Now, the AI profiling app, as we discussed and showed today, is actually a part of a bigger thing that NetDocuments offers, which is our ND Max Studio, which are purpose-built apps meant for the legal industry, where anyone can learn how apps are built, what our customers are doing, even bring and download those into your environment. So AI profiling is certainly the favorite. And on the next slide here,
And
oh, go ahead, Michelle.
by the way, you can see the apps in action in videos at studio.netdocuments.com if you want to.
Yes. Yes, and some examples of those: judge analytics, LPA abstract, employee onboarding, timelines of multiple documents. And Joy just shared a link to that as well. So that QR code and link will actually take you to a place where you see what NetDocuments has built for our customers. You can view videos of how they work, how they operate, even how they are built. So it's a terrific place to explore and get a feel for what's available. And of course, customization, tweaking to your legal workflows is always an option with those apps as well.
And working with that applied AI team that's building those, I can tell you, we had the initial set of a dozen for, common things like deposition summaries or medical record summaries or, doing comparisons or translations, the basics. And then we've built these specific things. They have another set that they are about to bring out as well.
Oh, yeah, very exciting. Definitely a place to keep an eye on.
So continuing on.
Yes, and shifting gears here a little bit, like Michelle said, AI is definitely one of the biggest things enabling that future-proof system. But NetDocuments, of course, existed well before AI. We are a security company. We are a document management company. And we're doing a lot to modernize that approach as well. So when we talk about M365 applications where legal teams spend most of their day, there's some exciting things happening with our Word integration, our Outlook integration. So jumping into those, the intelligent DMS isn't just AI doing everything for you. It is unmatched security, matter-centric organization. Yes, the automation and the workflow, but the fundamentals are key. Lawyers live in Word, crafting arguments. They can never escape Outlook, managing the client communications. They're collaborating with their colleagues and teams. And that's why we've spent years furthering those integrations. So while those workflows are there alongside you, it's very easy just to point and click, open a document, get to work. Make a single click, file your emails, send a Teams message over to that colleague with that document that they've asked for. So NetDocuments is seamless in every way you access it, and exactly where you need it to be. Now, where we'll talk about this today, and what I'll show you is the next evolution of a reimagined Word integration that doesn't just connect the two systems. It truly has created an environment where you would never know that these are two separate entities. It is powerful, intuitive, and is built for how lawyers work. So everything you see here represents our commitment to meeting lawyers where they already are inside Microsoft, but not just bring the two together, fundamentally transform what is possible there. So through our partnership with Microsoft, we are one of only a handful of companies that offer the deepest level of integration with Word, putting NetDocuments on equal footing with SharePoint and OneDrive. So what that means in practice for you is you can find, open, share profile documents using Word's native functionality. No COM add-ins that are going away or plugins that you're fighting to enable. Just Word working as it has, but now powered with your NetDocuments data. Now, if you're an IT professional, this means that you can deploy a single cloud add-in once, never have to touch anybody's device, and it's there. There's no maintenance headaches, no updates. It is a truly deploy it and leave it. If you are a lawyer, it means you get the full Word desktop experience that you know and love. And when you're creating that critical brief at 11 p.m., you want the power of the Word desktop. You don't want to be going to that browser limited version. So we've gone further. We can automate workflows within Word. Our assistant can edit and refine. And we've added the ability to co-author as well, not only in the web version, which we've had for quite a while, but today we have added the ability to do so within the desktop. So that native co-authoring on the desktop, no locked documents, no waiting for someone to close it, no pinging Michelle while she's on vacation, asking her to get out of that file. Hugely powerful piece. And that's what I'm going to show you next.
Awesome.
So with that, and I will steal the screen away from the PowerPoint here. We'll make sure that I share the correct screen. For those of you who have never seen it before, so you can see my screen, right, Michelle?
Yep.
Always
All
good to
good.
check. Within that documents, of course, folder, structure, the metadata, all of those pieces are there. But jumping into this folder, we'll actually see that there's a purchase agreement, and that white circle actually tells me that my colleague Hector is actively working on this. Now, traditionally, if I clicked on this, it would pop up and say, Hector has this file open. You'll have to wait or send him a passive aggressive email. Well, now, if I want a read-only copy, I can still get that, but I can decide where do Hector and I want to work together. Since he is working in an open session, I can say, let's do this in the web. Let's open this on the desktop, total control, and we'll see immediately I'm in and it pops up and says Hector Williams is here. So just at a glance, I can see which of my colleagues are in this file, where they are in the document. And as I select and start to edit, they are seeing that in real time as well, because we are leveraging the native Microsoft Word autosave with NetDocuments as that data source. Now, to cheat and not make you have to see me type, I'm going to dip into the what is coming. So I'm going to say change Delaware to Utah here, making some quick edits as me. Meanwhile, at the same time, we'll actually see, and I'll get out of the way here. As Hector starts to edit, we see his real-time edits, and everything that he puts, I'm able to see. So he goes and types, it's definitely Hector. It's not the man behind the curtain, me using my Mac on another screen. I'm seeing his edits real time. And over here, it's popping up and saying, hey, here's the changes that you've requested. And I'll note that uses AI. We're going to talk about that a bit more. But I can go through and say, yes, here's all the places where Delaware is mentioned. Let's swap that out with
And
Utah now.
yeah,
And just
while
like
Jake
that,
was doing that, I wanted to point out at the top of the screen, there was a little toggle to have it either use track changes or just directly apply
yes.
them like Jake did. And he was able to see everything that was going to be changed. He could click through and see it in context. So pretty cool feature. This gets lots of oohs and ahs when we show the AI assistant and the editing tool that's coming.
Yes. Yes. So I'm editing with AI. Hector is on his Mac. He's definitely not me, making his edits by hand and validating what I'm doing. And we are both seeing each other's work simultaneously, real time. So we can get to a document that has a time crunch, multiple people need their input on. This no longer needs to be handed off from person to person. We are in there together, working and meeting the deadlines as needed.
Very cool. And I know there's some changes on the backstage view for this
Yes.
capability as well. And that's part of that, us having that level of partnership with Microsoft that allows us to be able to kind of take over and be added as a source. So you'll see NetDocuments shows up just like OneDrive or SharePoint shows up now.
And that will give you full access to everything you can see and even note the status. Spencer's NDA is checked out. I'm actually not allowed to co-author that because whoever has it open has determined they want that session locked. I can still open that purchase agreement I was just in with a co-author session. So it's all right there within Word. I don't have to navigate to the web and opt into things. I can open up, edit, do all of that real time as well. And I'll note the other piece of that is we are adding that NetDocuments toolbar that allows me to open, save, version documents, use that editing tool, or even run automations, all from right there within Word. And again, this isn't dependent on Word loading this every single time. This was a single IT deployment that just simply works.
Yeah, and I love, so we were in Phoenix at our Inspire conference last week, and I had a bunch of decks. And I was able to just go straight to the PowerPoint app, sign in, and then be able to open those PowerPoint decks right on my phone, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, certainly a big change to the way things are done.
Awesome. So I'm going to grab back and go back to
Slides.
the slides
I'll
real
talk so you can
quick
focus.
and let you finish out this section.
No. So what you've seen today, all Net Documents customers will benefit from the ability to securely find, open, share, profile, collaborate on documents anywhere, any device. Uh, Incredibly powerful. And we've covered a lot. So I will note, while there's hours worth of things that I'd love to show you, there are a couple of enhancements with Outlook and Teams integrations that we're not going to focus on, but it does open up the door to saving your posts, chats, transferring files that just got dragged to drop into Teams and ended up into OneDrive into NetDocuments. Meeting recordings going from Teams to NetDocuments is on the way. There's a lot being done with all of those key Microsoft softwares that you're working on. So while we're
All
not going
right.
to talk about that today, Michelle, I understand you are going to talk about some of the new exciting things.
Yeah, as they used to say on the cheesy ads, but wait, there's more. We have even more coming. So Jake did show you the editing tool, and that initial version will be within Word in the Word add-in where you can work on a single document. But soon after that, we're going to uh, release the capabilities to make edits across multiple documents. So the way that will work is you will select the documents in the DMS, and then you'll click the Ask AI button to activate our AI assistant, and then you will enter the edits that you wish to make. And the assistant will run and access this new editing tool. So the assistant has been live since December. The editing tool is a new component of the assistant. And then the editing tool will display the documents for editing. And our new assistant tab will open in the NetDocuments Word add-in like you saw for the single document edit. And it will suggest the edits with the ability to accept, reject, or edit each change within that Word add-in. And then when accepted, you can choose to have the edits be applied as track changes um, within the body of the document or made directly. Um, in the future, we believe that users will probably gain trust and want to make the edits automatically. But for now, we want to show those edits in the add-in with the options to make changes so the user still has control to apply or ignore those changes either in bulk or individually. And so what it will do is it will open each document, allow you to review the changes, and then make those changes across multiple documents. So that'll be the next version. Another thing that we alluded to earlier is semantic search or AI search. Those familiar with our search will notice that there is a new search type there at the top, and that is AI search. So what that will do is it will enable you to ask questions in natural language. So in this case, how has the composition of Acme Co's board changed? And the results are returned across several documents. And you'll see that I have a detailed answer, which is very different from just serving up a list of documents that then somebody else has to go through each individual one. So this answers the question right there within the AI assistant window. And then the content used to drive that answer is shown down below within the search results. And so there will be little snippets of information as well as a preview of the document to give that broader context of where that answer came from. And what's nice is not only do you get those smart answers, you can also ask follow up questions like how often does the board meet? And are there any protocols for special meetings involved? This can also be a continuing conversation with the assistant. Pretty cool, right? This is really a game changer for how lawyers interact with their content. This, the editing tool, it's all pretty cool stuff, we think.
Very cool. And again, like Michelle highlighted, we want to put the lawyer, the paralegal, the legal assistant at the center of this. We do not want to replace them. We want you to find answers quickly and have workflows that fit your needs so that you can add clients, focus on things that you're very passionate about. So again, just keep in mind that you will be at the center of this, validating, working alongside it, not sitting at home on your couch wondering where you can work now that AI's taken over the law firms.
Right. I did see a presentation by Damian Reel recently, and he's pretty far along that line of thinking. Um, anyway, you've seen what we've been building. The intelligent DMS with native AI capabilities that turn your information into answers and automated workflows that turn those answers into action within both NetDocuments and the M365 suite. But there's another part of the story that we think is just as important. From the beginning, we have believed that a platform, especially one that supports the legal profession, should be open. These are your documents. And we're not here to lock law firms and legal teams into just one way of working. We're here to help them do their best work with the tools that work best for them. So whether that's within the intelligent DMS, surfacing that value directly within M365, or supporting integration through our open APIs that allow our massive network of partners to integrate. So things like court e-filing and electronic signature and different tools that work with your documents. We know that legal professionals are exploring AI from all angles. And we want to make sure that those tools can also work with their DMS, not around it. And so we're really excited to share a new partner program called Indie Connect. It's something that expands what's possible with the intelligent DMS, and it opens up even more opportunities to innovate alongside our partners. So this program is designed to place a component, a NetDocuments component, inside of other vetted platforms to enable access to your NetDocuments content seamlessly within these other securely vetted AI platforms, because we know we're not going to build all of the possible tools that law firms might need. And so this kind of interoperability extends the platform outside of NetDocuments so that you're not having to download a copy, upload a copy, download the output from that AI platform, and then bring it back into NetDocuments. So it smooths out all of those workflows along the way and keeps your documents secure inside your single source of truth within NetDocuments. So as you can see, it's about, as I've said many times, helping legal professionals do their best work. For us, that means applying cutting edge technology, transforming those core experiences like Jake showed in Word, connecting tools and platforms with our open APIs and the new Indie Connect program. And as always, meeting lawyers exactly where they're already working. So that is NetDocuments and the intelligent DMS. And so with that, we'd like to take any questions that you might have. So as Joy put in the chat, feel free to enter your questions.
Thank you so much, Michelle and Jake, for all of this amazing information. Excited to learn even more. I do have a few questions here, but as a reminder to the attendees, please go ahead and get any questions you would like for me to ask to Michelle and Jake. So we'll get started with this first one. Let's see, when will the editing tool be available?
So we are in the process of getting customers lined up to begin testing very soon, with general availability occurring later this fall. So soon, very soon.
Very soon.
Well, that's exciting. Thank you. I do have one that just came in from Dee Dee. How can this be utilized to assist with retention tools in a partner record keeping system?
Yeah. And something Didi would probably want to dive deep into, but off the top of my head, NetDocuments does offer metadata-based retention policies. And I see that as a huge opportunity with auto profiling. So I would imagine that, of course, we can do basic things of, hey, 7 years after this closes, remove it. But I could envision, hey, look for this type of information that we don't want to sit on for years and years. So, hey, documents with a social security number, when those files close, let's take everything that's tagged with that piece of information and remove it 2 years from now. So that metadata that's enriching the documents also can feed into how long do they need to be maintained, when should they be removed. So as they're being classified, the system now knows, oh, this type of document we have to keep for 5 years, and after that can purge it. The system would notify you or other admins and say, okay, here's the files that this month we should not be hanging on to anymore. So that metadata, that's another really key part of it, is it can lead into what should we retain versus not.
Yeah, and I know there are rules about if the um, matter involves minor children, you have to maintain it until they reach majority age sometimes and things like that. So there's so much that you can do based off of birth dates and things that might be in content. And I will say, you mentioned in a partner record keeping system. So I just did a webinar recently with Legal RM. They have the tool I Comply, and they do both physical and electronic records management and are an integration partner of ours as well. So that's another approach to take. And then I see the next question is, are you able to name any of the Indie Connect partners at this time? So at ILTACon, we announced our initial two partners are Harvey and Lagora. And I know that the team is in active talks with several other partners, specifically around things like legal research, because we know we're never going to build legal research tools, right? And you have to have those vast databases of case and court information to be able to conduct legal research. So stay tuned for more.
Thank you. To go along with that, Michelle, is Indie Connect for partners or customers?
So the primary use case is to work with our technology partners to create a better, more secure, user-friendly way to enable those workflows that involve the DMS as kind of the system of record for content. Um, but we do anticipate that there are some larger customers who have built their own technologies that might wish to use it as well. So stay tuned for more details on those particulars, as well as the new partners. Um, And I'll mention one thing that we're very particular about is vetting the security capabilities of these partners, because we know that customers trust us to keep their content safe, even while extending the operability for AI use.
Thank you so much. And this is a multi-part question. I'll start with the first part two. In light of recent AWS, NetDocs, and other outages, where does the processing of this data occur? And what type of outage would take these tools out?
So we have multiple global data centers around the world because we are a global country. So if you require residency for your content in, say, Canada, if you're a Canadian firm, um, or the UK, where they have specific requirements, we meet all of those requirements. We are in the process of moving over to AWS. Most content has been moved over. We're completing that process. We did not have any instances we weren't affected by AWS. We do have disaster recovery solutions that are available within the capability. I always think back to I was in a law firm years ago, and someone cut the internet connection to all of downtown Austin. So even you know any solution that was connected to the internet at that point would have been affected. There is absolutely nothing that you can do to avoid something like that happening. And so having a disaster recovery strategy in place for when things like that happen is mission critical. And so we do have solutions where you can mirror data and have you have the documents you've been working on recently on your local machine. So lots of things that you can do to mitigate being dead in the water if something catastrophic like that happens.
Thank you. Um, and then Nick's asking if you can provide contact information. Do you want to advance another slide or
Yeah,
two,
let
Michelle, so
me
we can have that
go
QR code available? Yeah, and I'll
forward.
go ahead and put this link. So if you are wanting to connect with Michelle and Jake and to ask for a demo of anything and get a little bit more information, there's the QR code as well as the link is now in the chat box for anyone that's looking to reach out. But a couple more questions. Keep on putting your questions in the chat box, everyone, and we'll get to those as they come in. I'm seeing a couple questions about AI searches. Can you go into a little more detail?
So the AI searching is what it does is it takes all of your content and it vectorizes that content. And what that means is that makes it available for those natural language kind of searches. It builds a 3D model of that content, basically. Um, and so right now, with our AI assistant, it does that on the fly for the documents that you select to use with it. Um, when AI search capabilities come out, which will be early next year, the entire repository will have those capabilities. And that's when you're going to get those smart answers and all of those various details that we've shown with no waiting. It'll be available across all of your documents. And that's part of the move to um, AWS. And we've been working very closely with AWS and Elasticsearch on this. They actually changed their roadmaps um, because we came to them with such a huge volume of content. And they weren't sure how to do it when we first started talking to them several years ago. But they have moved their roadmaps, they have increased their capabilities. And at IltaCon, one of the Elastic guys on the stage said, because of our challenge, they were able to 8x the compute capabilities to make that search more performative. So it's really exciting stuff. It's an exciting time um, for legal tech because we're able to open up these new capabilities.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I have a couple questions that have come in about the new Word add-in. Could you give some more information about who gets access and how do customers get access to the Word add-in?
So the Word add-in with the file open, the save, the search, and all of that, that's just part of our core platform, the stuff that Jake showed there. The editing tool, the access to apps, and the AI assistant, that is part of our Indie Max, which is our kind of global term for all of our AI-enabled capabilities. That is an add-on. So if you want any of the AI capabilities, that is something that you would add on top of the core platform.
Thank you. And we are approaching time. I don't see any other questions coming in at the moment. If anyone does have a last minute question, please feel free to go ahead and add that in. But until then, Michelle and Jake, I'm going to pass it back to you for any final closing remarks or more information on requesting a demo and how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, I think hit that QR code and our folks will be happy to do personalized demo. You might even meet up with Jake on a call, right?
Happy to. Happy to. And yes, that personalized demo, we want to understand what you're envisioning with AI, what you're envisioning with document management. So would love to sit down, discuss so that we can personalize that demonstration. And the last thing that I would leave with, and Michelle did kind of stress this, is that flexibility of net documents, that future readiness. There will be new providers, there will be new models. It's very fun to work at a place that can quickly say, "Hey, this is worth investing our time into to partnering with this company." So one of the things I like the most is net documents is building our AI, like I said, the Harvey, the Lagoras, the other systems that pop up. You're not stopping yourself from using those one day. You're moving into a system that will seamlessly communicate with those securely. So even as you dig into it, yes, there are certainly things that AI is not ready for. When whether it's net documents or another system figures those out, net documents is the place you want your content to be.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I do think that we'll go ahead and give the attendees a couple minutes back to their day, but thank you to you, Michelle and Jake, for this great presentation and all this important information coming up for AI and legal tech industry. I also want to say thank you to NetDocuments for sponsoring today's event and thank all the attendees for joining us today. We'd love to have you join us again, so please visit the event calendar to sign up for future webcasts. Thanks so much, Michelle and Jake.
Yeah, and thanks everybody for taking
Thank
time
you,
out of your
everyone.
busy days. We appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Joy.
Thank you. Have
Thanks,
a great
Joy.
day.
Bye-bye.